Hello again. I'm going to try and be a bit more disciplined today, not with this first video. I have a nice little ramble to clear out the lungs, you know, play a few chords on the old organ. Probably more about duality, try and speak about duality in Christianese or Christian terms. I've been using more secular terms or atheistic terms in my previous videos, but because it's a truth, it can be said in all the languages there are, you know, not just like Indian or Hindi and German and English, but in all the kind of various philosophical systems they will kind of say this, though they may not explicitly say it, but implicitly it's in between the lines. The enlightenment thing, right? When I was kind of getting into meditation and all that kind of stuff, like reading Eckhart Tolle, what I wanted to be confident, and it was becoming confident that I would call enlightenment, or that I was using the word enlightenment to capture, you know, the point where I'd forget myself, there'd be no self-consciousness, I'd just speak it. And really the reason I wanted to be confident, right, because I thought that if I could confidently tell the truth and solve people's problems, then pretty ladies would let me put my willy in them. That's why I was doing it. That was my motivating drive. I think for some people there may be different motivating drives, like say money or power over other people. It's that we're these biological creatures with fundamental drives, biological drives like sex drives, a drive for survival which would include money, food, shelter and power as well. And so instead of coming out openly and just admitting what we want to ourselves, not just to everybody else, we create these kind of masks, these fronts between that. Again, what I'm talking about in this channel is the mask. And behind all the masks is this needy biological little child who just wants some food and a fuck and a roof over his head. That's pretty much it. Or it could be, you could call it love or whatever, but that's what it comes down to from our personal thing. And so our specific kind of needs and desires and of unique feelings of inadequacy, which is unique to each individual, they create these big philosophical superstructures, these big kind of metaphysical superstructures. There's a good little image of what the oyster does to create the pearl. A little grain of dirt gets inside the oyster and it irritates the oyster. The oyster's pissed off about this grain of dirt being inside it. It stings, it hurts. So it secretes a mucus around it, which makes the edge, which softens the edges and makes this beautiful pearl. And that's the same thing with us, you know, you're a little baby, this brawling little brat comes out of mummy, it needs milk, it needs all this food, it's got all these needs. And of course that period of being actually inadequate, it can't feed itself, it can't look after itself, it can't even shit itself in a way that ain't going to give it diseases. It then creates an infant, a child, a teenager, an adult that feels inadequate, that feels like it's not enough. And it wants comforting. And that's what all these kind of stories, these religious things, and most of the activities we do are. It's also why we take drugs and stuff like that. So in some ideas of what enlightenment is, or what realizing non-duality is that need for that attachment, that kind of thing drops away, which is yet again not getting it. It's all fine. It is what it is. And you are actually adequate. You don't even need to accept that you're adequate or not. So you've got all these people running around feeling inadequate, feeling like they're not enough. They're working, they're earning an income, they got a roof over their heads that they put there. They're living day to day and they're going to die when they hit old age, most of them, unless something horrible happens before then. So they're running around with this sense of inadequacy, and but they're fine, they're totally adequate, and they don't need to feel adequate. And in a sense they often use that stressful kind of sense of inadequacy as a kind of motivating factor to get more adequate, supposedly. But it's all unnecessary. It's all an illusion. Goodbye.